We have with us Professor Anil Kakodkar Saab, who is the chief guest today here. Dr. Kakodkar was born on 11th of November 1943, joined Baba Atomic Research Center in 1964. He became the director of BAC in 1996 and was chairman of Atomic Energy Commission of India and secretary to the Government of India, Department of Atomic Energy, during the years 2000 to 2009. Currently, he is DAE Homi Bhabha Chair Professor at BARC. Dr. Kakodkar has worked for the development of atomic energy program in India throughout his professional career. Undeterred by the restrictions which were imposed by the international community, he succeeded in developing various systems for the pressurized heavy water reactor, in building Dhruv reactor, which started from the conceptual stage, in rehabilitation of Madras Atomic Power Station, which was considered to be an obsolete thing and to be dumped. He conceptualized and developed the advanced heavy water reactor that realizes the next generation objectives through innovations. He was first to talk about thorium use, which we have in abundance, and developing power from thorium. He was among the chosen few involved in the first successful peaceful nuclear explosion experiments that was conducted on May 18, 1974 at Pokhran. He later also was involved in subsequent tests at Pokhran in May 1998 also. India also demonstrated nuclear submarine power pack technology under his leadership. Notable also are his innovative contributions to human resource development activities. The establishment of NISERS, National Institutes of Science, Education and Research, DAE Mumbai University, CBS, Center for Basic Sciences, Homi Bhabha National Institute, are a few of them. He was responsible for creating linkages between basic sciences and technology development for the acceleration of India's multifaceted atomic energy programs. A committee under his chairmanship worked for and has come up with a detailed report for greater autonomy of IITs to take them to the next stage. And after completion of that, he was also given responsibility of reviewing the NIT system, and he has submitted a report, a wonderful report, which has the potential of transforming the current NITs into the world-class institutions. And this review, in fact, has been considered to be a very important step in the history of NITs, and I'm sure that they will make a lot of impact on the development of these NITs. Currently, his key engagements are in different areas. In energy, he is chairman of the Solar Energy Research Advisory Committee. He is member Mission Steering Committee of JSN-SM. He is member of Atomic Energy Commission. He is member of ONGC Energy Center Trust. He is member Board of Trustees of Council of Energy and Environment and Water. He is chairman of Coordination and Monitoring Committee of Development and Implementation of Power Generation from Geothermal Energy in West Coast of Maharashtra. In education, he is chairman Board of Governors of Indian Institute of Technology, Bombay. Recently, he has completed his term as chairman Board of Governors of NIT Jalandhar. He is chairman Empowered Committee on IIT Reforms. He is chairman of the committee on implementation of the report which has been submitted to the government. Chairman governing body, Inter-University Accelerator Center, New Delhi. He is member mentor group, Manipal University. He is member board of governors of VJTI Bombay. He is member advisory committee on promotion of research in science and technology in universities. He is member board of trustees of Chennai Mathematical Institute. As far as the societal development is concerned, he is chairman of Rajiv Gandhi Science and Technology Commission, chairman Technology Information Forecasting Assessment Council, president Vigyan Parisar, chairman advisory board, Global Indian Scientists and Technocrats Forum. He is member executive committee Nehru Center. He is member advisory committee Jamnalal Bajaj Foundations. He is chairman Genetically Modified Crops Committee. He is member advisory board of Gandhi Research Foundation. He is member board of Reserve Bank of India. He is member of Science and Engineering Research Board. He is Indian National Academy of Engineers on this academy. He is also part of the Indian Academy of Sciences. He is part of the National Academy of Sciences India. He has been awarded Doctor of Sciences by 21 universities, and he has many other professional affiliations. Looking at his contribution to the society, the government of India has given him Padma Shri in 1998. He has and bestowed Padma Bhushan in 1999 and Padma Vibhushan in 2009. He has many international recognitions, both at national and international level. And if I keep on reading it, probably the whole time will be spent in that. So without, in fact, spending any further time on reading these achievements which are available with you, may I request you, sir, to kindly deliver the convocation address and bless the graduates.
It's wonderful to be here in open, very sunny and very enjoyable morning for this convocation function. Professor K.K. Agarwal, Chairman Board of Governors, Malviya National Institute of Technology, Jaipur. Professor I.K. Bhatt, Director, MNIT Jaipur, members of Board of Governors, members of Senate, faculty and students, distinguished invitees, ladies and gentlemen. Let me at the outset thank MNIT Jaipur for inviting me to this convocation. As a part of work related to Committee on NITs that I chaired, I had an occasion to visit the institute earlier. I also enjoyed interacting with Professor Bhatt, who has been intensely involved in this effort. I am therefore very delighted to be here again. I am particularly delighted to see significant addition to the infrastructure between the time I visited here last and now. So congratulations to MNIT, Chairman Board of Governors, Director MNIT, and indeed all of you. Convocation is a special day in the calendar of an institution of learning. It marks the culmination of a phase of learning, and after having satisfied that the student is now ready to face and contribute to the world at large, as a worthy individual in the chosen domain of learning and training, the elders give the final advice and blessings for the further journey that the student is embarking upon. It is a solemn occasion for the students and also for the teachers. The bond between teachers and students that is supposed to have been built through years of mentoring brings in an emotional content to the Convocation Day. I wish to use this occasion to thank the faculty who in their own way have contributed to shaping the young minds while they are with the Institute. My congratulations to all students who are receiving their degrees today. Some of you who are being specially recognized deserve our highest appreciation. All of you have gone through your respective courses of studies and have been adjudged to be worthy of the degrees that are being awarded to you. You are now ready to face the exciting world out there. As an educated individual, you have to be an important part of the nation-building process through your respective capabilities that you have acquired here. Today, there is ample scope for innovation and entrepreneurship. The way our country is evolving, the opportunities for the capable ones will continuously expand. I wish all of you graduating today a very successful career ahead. May all your dreams be fully realized. I have spent almost entire professional life on development of national capability in the area of atomic energy. A key aspect that I have realized as a result of this experience is the need to transform our education to make it more effective human resource building exercise that empowers every youth to become a prime mover to add value rather than be a job seeker. This must happen in the present day context consistent with our time-tested value system. At the same time, our education system must recognize the needs of emerging tomorrow. I would like to use this occasion to talk about this theme. We Indians have had a great heritage. India was a premier country in the world till about 5 or 6 centuries ago. We had great universities, centers of learning that attracted scholars from many parts of the world. After a long period of oppression and foreign rule, India is now bouncing back. Democracy has taken roots in independent India. Indian youth have demonstrated their capabilities through their impact, both in technological as well as in economic terms, here as well as in countries abroad. The world is now highly interconnected, and the A3, anyone, anywhere and anytime, the A3 connected society is fast taking shape. We are fast embracing knowledge-driven economy worldwide. Technology is changing our lives faster than we would have imagined. We need to be conscious about the impact of these rather rapid transitions around us. We need to prepare our societies to benefit from these transitions while preventing their ill effects. Opportunities and threats created by increasing competitive, interconnected world, the potential for greater disparities if policies are not managed well, and the threat to our time-tested Indian value system are some of the major challenges before our society today. We must acknowledge that apart from people who engage themselves in mass movements at different times, a very large number of individuals have made key contributions in shaping the societal evolution in a healthy manner and in the right direction through their wisdom, sustained work, and passionate contributions. For example, there have been people who pursued science and mathematics and made new discoveries here well ahead of others. Others pursued social reforms in spite of several odds.